It is my pleasure also to introduce Monica Tata, Managing Director of HBO Asia here in India. Monica is a Managing Director, as I said. She's based in Mumbai, and she's responsible for steering and overseeing all of HBO's initiatives across South Asia. As head of HBO operations for South Asia, Monica oversees various initiatives to support revenue growth and enhance the company's offerings in India and its subcontinent. Monica's wide-ranging mandate includes supervision, providing strategic direction, and managing partner relationships. Prior to this, Monica was General Manager Entertainment Network South Asia for Turner International India Private Limited, where she was responsible for steering and overseeing all network initiatives across Turner's entertainment brand portfolio in South Asia. Monica has over 23 years of media experience, which were primarily spent in Star TV and Turner. Monica, we have some questions for you. What have been your key learnings in your career as a woman leader? If you can share that with us.
Thank you. Morning, everyone. To be sitting amongst this august panel is very humbling, because the women around on this panel, and of course I met a few out there, have done so much of meaningful work. It really makes me wonder, what exactly am I doing here? Because all I have been doing for the last 25 years is just entertaining you all. I was talking to somebody outside, and she had a very pertinent point to say, and say that we all need entertainment. However difficult our lives are or happy our lives are, we still want to go home into the bed and watch a bit of a movie or an entertainment or some form of relaxation entertainment form. And I'm glad to know that you know, my 25 years have actually not gone so complete waste. I think learnings, to say that what have I learned in these 20 odd years of being in the media industry, there's been plenty. I came into this industry by chance. I was just a graduate and walked into this media industry without any fancy degrees, which was always a doubt in my head whether I'll ever make it without having a postgraduate mark on my certificate. I think in hindsight, it doesn't matter. I think there are few things which really drive you to be a leader. Some of them I'd like to share with you what I've learned in these years. The top of that list is passion. For me, passion is my mantra. I mean, I've always believed and propagate that if you have the passion for something, live it completely. Results, rewards, awards will be a byproduct of that, because if your focus is that you're doing something you absolutely enjoy, you love, and you do it for the sake of believing in it, being passionate about it, rewards and awards would follow. And I think today me sitting in this august panel is a testimony of that. However, you know, Benjamin Franklin, I think, has said that if passion drives you, let reason be your reins. So you got to manage that. You know, you can't go completely crazy on saying that if this is all I want to do, and not have any reasonable expectation out of what your passion is going to achieve. So but I do believe that if you don't have, you know, if you get up in the morning, and that's something I talk to a lot of young people in the profession of media, that if you get up in the morning and then you feel that, oh my God, I got to go to work today, that's the day you need to quit that job. And allow them to fly, because I, for one, have been able to reach where I am because I had bosses who let me fly. And I need to respect that and learn from that, and then delegate the same thinking across my team people as well. The fourth reason, the fourth learning really I have, and it's about the difference in hearing and listening. There's a reason God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So we got to listen more than we should speak. You got to know when to speak what. You should be a better and a much better, much more a much better listener than trying to make a point just for the sake of making a point. And again, there's a difference in hearing and listening. And I think people try to hear a lot of what the team is saying or what the issues are, but not too many people really listen to what is actually being said. I have believed that that's played a big role in my success where I've been a very good, I'm a people's person, which anyway every leader needs to be. You have to be a people's person, because at the end of the day we are living in a human world, and you got to understand and appreciate the human context. So being a people's person is clearly a very, very important aspect of being a leader. And listening hence plays a huge role. So completely advise people to look at, to be better listeners. And some of the technical learnings I've had, that sometimes they say is a safe risk an oxymoron, because I believe that taking a calculated risk is an important aspect of making some business decisions. However, there are times you do make mistakes, and that's absolutely okay. I always encourage the team, please try things, don't be so scared, take a risk, but if you do fail, right, and you will many times in life, that's okay, as long as you do not repeat those mistakes. I think that's the big learning I've had, again, on many times. There are many in these 20 or 25 years. I've made a few mistakes in my either career choices or decisions in a particular role I've taken. I mean, there are some which I regret a lot, but I don't think so. I feel, I don't cringe about it. And the reason I don't cringe about it is because it's okay to make mistakes, but as long as I have learned something from it and brought about something positive eventually for the company or the organization or the people involved, I think I've done a good job. So that's one learning, again, I have in these years. Again, something which I seem to agree a lot with Sumaya, actually, is about multitasking. Completely agree on that. I think women are the best multitaskers. They can do so much more. In fact, sometimes some women don't even realize that how brilliant multitaskers they can be, because it comes so naturally to them. It's not a big deal for them, and hence to be able to manage home, family, work, maids, huge need of having a support system which really makes it all work is something I believe comes naturally to women and has played a big role even for me to be able to do the tap dancing between various roles I sort of play. And last but not the least is really about keeping it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. Don't intellectualize problems too much. Sometimes the solution is so simple, so straightforward, so in your face, that the moment you try to sort of intellectualize it and make it into one big thing, you feel that, oh my God, that's a big problem ahead of us and how are we going to solve it. But when you just sit down, relax, think about it, take a perspective of what really is the problem and get to the depth of it, you'll realize that it is not such a difficult problem altogether. And I think that comes from the fact that women have the ability to deal with problems far more calmly, far more, in a more, in a sane way than maybe the other counterpart. But again, this is not trying to, it's not a male bashing panel, but the point being that there are certain attributes women bring to the table which come naturally to them, and I think it's important for all of us to recognize that and use that to your own advantage in making either your home or your company a better place. So those would be my key learnings.
Thank you very much for sharing that. And the passion across all of the global women leaders is just touching me today. What advice would you like to give some of the leaders today that are really developing? We talk about having to look forward, But all of you have also talked about looking back and seeing who we're leading. So what advice would you give to them? As if you were able to just talk to them right now, what would you say to them?
I think all my learnings would be my key advices to them, to the young budding people into the industry. I come from, I'm representing a media industry, I'm representing a broadcasting industry. There are not too many women leaders in our industry, unfortunately. They reach a particular level, I would say to the maybe the heads of divisions kind of level, but not necessarily heading the business. There are a few, of course, and over a period of time, we've seen some kind of downfall in terms of having senior leaders on media industry. And this is I think it's something we are dealing on a regular basis. And I would really, I talk to a lot of media people, young women who are in the industry, and a lot of them, I just keep advising the same thing which I did share, what my learnings were, and nothing really changes on that. It still continues to be passionate, love what you do, be committed, have those skills which I just spoke about. These are the few things which clearly will help you as you grow in a corporate ladder. But clearly, there are challenges a lot of women face in the corporate world. I think a lot of companies are making the effort to make it a little more easier for women to work, whether it's having creches in organizations to have children out there, and having more convenient working systems, whether it's working from home and through maternity leaves and things like that. So I think organizations are making paving the path for women to be more, how do I say, so not to feel guilty about working. Somehow there is this whole guilt factor which comes about in women when they are, if they are not able to, you can't do 100% of being a mother and a corporate executive. There is compromises you have to make, and that is the reality. But somehow women themselves feel guilty about not being there. If I've missed an annual day function of my daughter, that will kill me. But I had to be at a very important meeting somewhere, and I was unable to attend. That is something I think I deal even today. It would be wrong for me to say that, it's okay, I mean, that's how it is. But somehow it does affect you as a woman, and I think Indiraji had mentioned this about that baggage which a lot of us women carry, guilt factor always remains. I really don't know what the solution to this is. Is there a solution? I don't know. I think we just try and strive to be much better human beings in trying to achieve all those things which we are trying to do in the various roles we play, and try not to feel guilty about it. But I wish there was a formula out there which we can just, remember and follow, but unfortunately that is not how life is. So.
Well, I liked what you said about the balance between passion and reason. Always let your passion, but then balance it with reason. Thank you very much, Monica.